Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to crack the code on something that's a huge challenge in business. How do you get your boss to actually say yes to new technology? So, we're going to break down a really powerful framework for a winning pitch, and we'll use the rise of AI image generation as our case study. All right, let's dive in and build this thing step by step. So this is the big question, right? It's on the mind of pretty much every innovator out there. Whether you're a team lead, a consultant, or an exec trying to push for change, you know a great idea is only as good as your ability to sell it. This isn't just about showing off some cool new tech, it's about strategic communication. And that's exactly what we're going to map out today. Okay, first things first. You have, maybe, 15 seconds to convince a busy executive that this conversation is worth their time. That's it. So you have to forget the technical jargon for a minute. Your opening has to be a hook that connects directly to what they really care about, their biggest strategic concerns.
Think about this number. 85% of executives believe AI is going to give their company a competitive advantage. See, this isn't some niche trend anymore. This is the new battlefield. When you start with a stat like this, you're not talking about a shiny new tool. You're talking about market leadership. And just like that, you have their full attention.
All right, you've got their attention. Now it's time to pivot, because the solution, no matter how brilliant it is totally meaningless if there isn't a clear, painful business problem to solve. Your job right now is to make that pain feel real, relatable, and, this is key, you have to be able to put a number on it. Now here's the problem almost every leader can feel in their bones. This isn't some abstract idea. It's a real bottleneck that hits revenue, it affects brand perception, and it slows down how fast you can move in the market. You're framing the issue using the language of business, not the language of tech. The goal here is to paint such a vivid picture of the before state that they're already desperate for the after.
And when you start putting numbers to that problem, well, it becomes impossible to ignore. I mean, just look at the cost difference here. We're not talking about saving a few pennies. We're talking about a fundamental shift in the entire economic model of creating content. This chart, it's not just data. It's a visual argument that screams for change.
So, you've hooked them and you've defined the problem. What's next? Well, now you have to show that you're a strategic thinker, not just another tech enthusiast who's excited about the new thing. And that is where a decision framework comes into play. It proves you've done your homework and gives everyone a logical path to follow.
You know, what a framework really does is it turns that gut feeling, hey, this is cool kind of pitch, into a serious business case. It shows you're thinking about all the angles, from cost and technical fit to whether the team is even ready for it. It proves that your recommendation is going to be based on solid evidence, not just excitement.
And here's what a simple framework can look like. Just 4 clear, logical steps. This is a model you could apply to almost any technology pitch you make. By presenting this, you're not just selling a tool, you're actually showing them a repeatable process for smart innovation. You're showing them how to think about the problem.
Frameworks are awesome, but let's be honest, they can feel a little abstract. To really drive the point home, you've got to translate all that potential into a reality they can actually picture. And this is where a solid example or a case study becomes your most powerful weapon.
A quote like this, it's powerful because it speaks the language of results. Cutting creation time by 70%? Tripling the variations of your content? Come on. These aren't technical specs. These are business outcomes that directly solve the pain points we talked about earlier. It makes the promise of this tech feel totally achievable.
And here is the hard data to back that quote up. A simple before and after table makes the impact crystal clear. It's clean, it's direct, and it speaks right to the analytical mind of an executive. You're literally showing them what success looks like in the terms they care about: time, money, and output.
Okay, you've made your case. The final step, and honestly, this might be the most critical one, is to make it incredibly easy for them to say yes. A great pitch never ends with a vague, "So, we should look into this." It ends with a clear, concise, and super low-risk action plan. This right here, this is your ask. And notice how specific and manageable it is. You're not asking for $1 million budget tomorrow. You're asking for a small, 2-week pilot project. This just removes all the friction, it minimizes the perceived risk, and it gives them a clear path to the next checkpoint. It makes saying yes feel like a really smart, easy decision.
And finally, after you've made the case for this one specific tool, it's time to zoom out. You want to place this single decision into the larger story of where your entire industry is going. This frames your proposal not as just some one-off project, but as a critical first step into the future.
A simple timeline like this creates a powerful sense of strategic urgency.
It shows that acting now isn't just a cool opportunity, it's a flat-out necessity to stay ahead of the curve. The decision they make today isn't just about this quarter's marketing campaign, it's about where the company is going to be in 2, 3, or even 4 years.
So let's just bring it all home. Having a structured way to evaluate and adopt new technology, that's quickly becoming the new standard for companies that want to win. The real question isn't whether AI is the right tool. The real question is whether your organization has the right process to make these kinds of decisions effectively. Because you can bet your competitors are already working on it.